Hey guys, Ryan here, and welcome to another edition of Retro Def. Today I'm pretty excited. I get to talk about a movie that I've wanted to watch for a very long time. As you guys know, it's October. As us horror hounds would call it, it's the month of Halloween. We like to get as many scary movies in as we can, and I finally got a chance to watch one yesterday afternoon. I haven't mentioned this on the channel, so I'll mention it now. My wife gave birth to a healthy baby boy about 6 weeks ago, so my life has been completely flipped turned upside down. So I haven't been able to watch as much stuff as I would have liked to, but I did manage to get in this movie yesterday, so I definitely wanted to make a video and talk about it. And that movie is The Town That Dreaded Sundown from 1974. It's one of those movies that I don't even think I knew it existed until about 2006, maybe 2005, something in that area. And ever since I've heard about it, I wanted to see it, especially because a lot of people make some connections between this film and Friday the 13th Part 2, which I'll talk about in a little bit. It has recently been released on a Blu-ray by Scream Factory, which I hear is really great, and it's also right now it's streaming on American Netflix, so if you want to watch it, there's a couple of avenues you can take to give it a watch. The film is sort of a faux documentary thriller slasher movie. That would be the best way I could think of to describe it. A lot of people would just simply call it a slasher movie, and I can totally see why. But I think it finally kind of has all of those elements in it. It's based on the real case, the real unsolved mystery of the Moonlight Murders, which happened in the mid-40s in Texarkana, Arkansas. And there was a man known as the Phantom Killer stalking and attacking and killing young people that were out on lovers' lanes during a period of maybe about a year, or maybe more. I'm not 100% sure on that. He was never caught, he was never found, and he just sort of disappeared after a time. And of course that stuff makes great fodder for these kinds of movies. So in the 1970s, Charles B. Pierce, who was kind of famous for the Legend of Boggy Creek, made this low-budget movie, and I can see why it gets lumped in with slasher, because it is low budget. It feels and looks like any slasher I've seen. The reason I have a hard time just saying it's straight up slasher is because it has so many elements of other things. It's part, like I said, part kind of documentary, kind of crime drama, kind of there's some comedic elements, and I find that the tone in the movie sort of shifts a lot because of that. Sometimes when you're watching it and it's funny, and then it'll suddenly shift to a stock and slash scene. I really noticed that, like I said, the tonal shift, but at the same time, it doesn't feel disjointed. I don't know how to explain that. I think it's sort of the time. I think I've seen a lot of movies from that time period, and they like to add levity to the horror movies to kind of ease everyone back, I think. They don't want to, it's not like today where it's got to be constantly just hard-hitting horror. They could take a moment and have some funny scenes in there, and I think that's why it works out. It could be the nostalgia talking. I don't know. This film just totally hit me in a nostalgic chord, even though I had never seen it before. It totally landed in that 1970s era for me, and I just really, really enjoyed it. The scenes which have the killer in them, they were really, really well done. Some of the best slasher scenes I've seen. I think they were really well put together. It's kind of mired by the filmmaking a little bit. I know the very first scene in the film, it's very dark, very hard to see. Later on, they shift to like day for night, which it looks a lot better. It kind of doesn't fit because you've just seen some scenes that were really, really dark, and all of a sudden you're in day for night. And then they have some other scenes that they clearly filmed at night, but they lit well. So the filmmaking kind of shifts a little bit. Again, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to bother me. But the scenes, the killer, whoever acted the killer, I don't know who the actor is off the top of my head, did an incredible job. The costume design is really, really creepy. They put a pillow sack over his head, which I believe is based on the actual killer in the actual case. And when the killer breathes, the pillow sack's moving in and out, and it's just really, really freaky. This is where the Friday the 13th connection comes in. Of course, in Friday the 13th Part 2, Jason's in the film. He wears a pillowcase over his head. For years I've heard that people kind of thought they lifted that from this movie. I can see why 100%, and it's not just the pillowcase, it's A lot of the times when they film the killer in the Town That Dreaded Sundown, they film his feet as he walks, and that kind of ties into the movie, and the ending of the movie. And when you first see Jason in Friday the 13th Part 2, you see his feet walking, and he's wearing very, very similar clothes. He's wearing like jeans and a pair of boots or something like that. And in other scenes in the movie, that comes into play in Friday the 13th Part 2 a lot. So it's not just that. They totally lifted, 100% I think they lifted a lot of the elements of Jason, Friday the 13th Part 2 from this movie. I don't know if the creators of Friday the 13th Part 2 have ever come out and said that, but I just think it's totally lifted. But the scene, yeah, the stalk and slash scenes in this movie are very, very creepy. They're very, very well done. I really, really enjoyed them. You know, I tried to get the room as dark as possible when I watched it, and you know, I was mildly freaked out by those scenes. They did a really, really great job of them, and I think that's why I enjoyed it so much. One of the things about the movie is that they never did catch the killer, so they kind of tie that into the end of it. They kind of make the case that maybe the killer's watching this movie in the theater with you right now. I think they got a lot of trouble for that, the filmmakers of this movie, or at least Charles B. Pierce in particular. I think that maybe the people of Texarkana tried to sue them or something like that to take that ad marketing down, which I can understand. It's a sensitive subject. People did get attacked and murdered for real in this area of Arkansas. But at the same time, you know, it's not the first time this kind of marketing's been used for a film, and it certainly won't be the last. But it's kind of neat how they tie that in to the ending of the film, which I won't go into. You'll have to watch it to see. But I would definitely recommend giving this movie a watch. I really enjoyed it. You know, you might watch it again and you might kind of see what I'm talking about the tonal shifts. You might also notice that, like I said, there are some hiccups in the filmmaking, the editing and things like that can be a little bit choppy, but for the most part, it's acted decently. I mean, it's a low budget movie from the 70s. There's definitely some wooden acting in there, but for the most part, you know, if you're into these kinds of movies, into slashers from the 70s, you're not going to notice, you're not going to care. You might even like it more because it's in there. I know it kind of hit a nostalgic chord with me, so I really, really liked it. I tried to look up as much as I could about the actual killings. I don't know, I have a morbid curiosity with that sort of stuff. There's not a lot out there in the form of video, but I'll try to put some links down below in the description so you guys can check it out. I believe there's a new documentary out. The name eludes me right now. Maybe Killer Legends. I think it's from the same people that did Cropsy. Pizzal kind of pointed me in the direction of it. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I believe it has some of that in there. I found some TV clips or something like that. There's all kinds of written literature and stuff like that on the case as well. So you could find out some more about it. I know I find it very, very strange, especially where the killer wasn't found. That kind of adds a little bit of creepiness to it for me. But anyway, guys, that's everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully I'll have some more stuff up for Halloween. I can't make any promises right now. But as always, you have to check out the Sausage Factory. I haven't been able to make it in the last couple of episodes with the way things are right now, but for the month of October, there's some really great episodes going to be up. Hopefully I'll be able to make a few of them, so definitely check that out. Links and all that stuff, all that good stuff's going to be in the description if you want to check that out. But that's everything. I'll talk to you guys later, and peace.